When you're thinking about, am I going to get divorced? Okay, what is your life as a divorced person or as a married person? What's that going to look like?
So no one wakes up and just decides they're going to get divorced. There's always some back and forth. What are some things someone needs to consider before making that final decision?
I say the number one thing that somebody should consider if they're on the fence about getting a divorce is to make sure that you feel that you've done everything that you can do to make whatever decision you need to do and have peace about it. If you feel, I really think that I'm more strongly leaning towards divorce, find out what it is that you would need to do to be able to walk away with peace and go through the divorce, because divorce is painful. Whether you know that it's the right decision for you or not, it's still one of the most difficult decisions you will ever go through. And so preparing yourself and feeling like, okay, yes, I tried everything I could to save this relationship. I saw a therapist, I tried to talk to my spouse. That's an important thing, because if you walk away from your marriage and you're constantly looking over your shoulder with regrets, you're going to carry that with you, and that's going to be an even more difficult burden that you have to work through in addition to the pain of divorce.
I also think that we need to look at, if I have put my own 100% in it, was I fully expressed in this marriage? Did I put everything of me in this marriage? Do I have the skills that it takes to create a good marriage? Sometimes people come to me and I work with them and they look at the behaviors that they're doing, and it's like, even if you leave this marriage, if you have the same skills, how could you be attractive to any other man or any other woman? I mean, the skills won't work in any relationship. What you're doing right now just won't work. So if you actually change those behaviors or that mentality and that thought form and belief, could you even do it in this marriage? So can you learn how to do the right behaviors in that marriage? And maybe it actually works. If it doesn't, at least you've learned what works and you take it with you to another marriage.
And research has actually shown that if you adjust your behavior by only 10%, you can cause a major shift in your relationship. And that's part of, doing everything you feel you need to do to walk away. Did I give it my 110%? Did I give everything that I felt like I could do and put my best foot forward? If I felt like I could go back and approach this marriage again and really give it my full effort and see if it still works or it doesn't work at that time, okay, that might be a different story. But if I'm only giving 30% or 40%, maybe there's some more that you could do before you're deciding that this isn't working.
I think then you have to, if your spouse doesn't want to do anything, you can't change your spouse. You can't control your spouse. The only person that you can control is yourself. So the question you then have to ask is, knowing that this is who I have, that this is who I'm married to, do I still want to stay in the marriage? Yes or no? And I think another thing that's really important, just to bring this down to a more practical day-to-day level, is when you're thinking about, am I going to get divorced? Okay, what is your life as a divorced person or as a married person? What's that going to look like? Do you have a way to support yourself? Do you have a way to take care of the children? Do you have some sort of schedule in mind that you can see the children, your spouse can see the children? You need to start working through the practical aspects of what it would be like to be single before you decide, oh yeah, the grass is greener on the other side.
I also have to look at, is my expectation realistic or not about my spouse and what I'm expecting them to do? Are they even capable of doing what I'm asking them to do? Or is it even any human being capable of what I'm asking them to do? And I think that makes our decision a little bit easier about adjusting our expectations, learning the new skills. And if that still does not work, compatibility is not working, my spouse is not utilizing the same kind of motivation in order to do the same thing, then I could decide to get a divorce.
And I would actually say, instead of, projecting off into the future about their future life, to actually assess what the life is right now. Because oftentimes if we do project into the future, we might not make any changes because that's too scary. But if someone's really not happy in their marriage currently, and their partner isn't willing to go to counseling or get coaching or go to a retreat or even read a book or have a conversation, If that partner's not even willing to do that, then, given the set of circumstances that you have, with the information that you have, you can make a decision from where you are. I think that projecting out into the future can actually paralyze some people from making any kind of change or making a decision that's kind of scary.
So if you're contemplating a divorce, you need to take a look at who you are today in this moment and where your relationship is at today in this moment. From there, you need to get really honest with your partner, and then you can see where the relationship can go or not.